Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Down the Sidelines podcast, aka the Dots podcast, here at Lakeland University at the home sideline. It's Matt Crowley, your boy, Matty Icy.
You're on the away sideline here in Stevens Point. Dude, why do you always get the home sideline? Like, what's going on with that?
Fine. Oh, my bad.
I mean, you can have the home sideline for this one, but next episode, I better get it. But on the away sideline here in Stevens Point is Brendan Retzloff, a.k.a. 99 Bretts, Bretts.golf, Brandini. Pretty sure I flipped the order of all of those here in the house. We got a good episode today. Dots, episode 8 here, season 2. It's week 5 of the NFL season, and today, we got quite the bit of a story to unravel for you guys. We're going to be talking about the Minnesota trip that Matt ended up taking this past week, and a few interesting things happened in that one, but we'll cover that in a bit, as well as I'm going to be going somewhere next week, so we might have to shoot our next episode at a point different from Thursday, because it is finally my time to go to Missouri or Kansas, whatever state you think it's in, Kansas City, and then we're going to go over some big surprises after the first 4 weeks of the season. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce will not be an answer this time. And then we're going to have a pretty fun segment once again, going over a bunch of matchups between the nicknames of teams. I think that will be a pretty fun one. Then we're going to go over our top 10s, and then it's our predictions, and that will be what we got for today. So, first order of business here on episode 8. Matt, you took a pretty sweet trip to your dream stadium, US Bank Stadium. Sounded like a pretty cool experience, but the outcome of this one, I want to go back to our last episodes when we went over the predictions of that game, and you said it was going to be an absolute blowout, and I was like, okay, I'll just agree with this guy because he's saying that. Well, Matt, what happened?
Well, we lost, so, yeah, that happened. Yeah, we ended up losing 6-0. Our offense couldn't get anything rolling. We had over 300 total yards of offense. And our defense only held them 6 points. The thing that killed us was the penalties. When you have 25 penalties for over 250 yards, you're going to lose games. I mean, honestly, it was... Don't get me wrong, it was amazing playing in the Vikings Stadium. Honestly, it's my dream as a Vikings fan to play there. But really, once I stepped onto that field, it was just another football field for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised that, that did not get into your head at all. I mean, last week you said you didn't want that to get to your head, and the fact that it didn't, for me, I feel like if I played a football game at Lambeau Field or something, I would be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm at Lambeau Field. I'm going to, think about this too much, and it's really going to throw me off. But were you able to... So you started in this game, and you were playing tight end, right?
Okay, well, we never ran tight end the whole game, so I only played on special teams, so... Yeah.
There was no tight end position?
We have a tight end position, but we never use it in the whole game, so I never got to see the field on offense.
Okay, to me that makes zero sense. As a coach, why would you not include a tight end position on your team, or just incorporate the tight end in your gameplay, because that's just another position that's in there that can either help you block or make some pretty big plays on the receiving end. What? Is that just me, or?
I mean, Lakeland doesn't run a tight end scheme at all, so there's that.
Why is that? I mean, you know more than I do.
Different coaches want to run their offense differently, so They think what they think is good and they go with it. Honestly, it doesn't matter if we had a tight end in or not. At the end of the day, we beat ourselves up. Really, we start arguing with each other. We got into fights on the sidelines, and yeah, it just wasn't good. For us, we played down to their level, which we know we are at a very higher level than they were. But when you play down to their level and stoop down to their level, you're going to lose games, especially when you have 25 penalties for over 250 yards, and then the opposing team, their scoring drive was 80 yards, but 65 of those yards were penalties. So,
penalties, they can really kill you. And speaking of penalties, I mean there's a pretty big thing going on, and we'll probably talk about it a little later about how a lot of people think the Kansas City Chiefs are just paying off these refs for things. But yeah, having 225 yards worth of penalties is not gonna do any good for you. And were you one of those players who is kind of getting heated up there and getting into the fights with your teammates, or
no, not really.
Kind of out of it?
I was trying to stay out of it as much as possible. It was beginning of the year, we said it should have been addressed there. We play for the name on the front. We don't play for the name on our back. I don't know if it was because if we were playing the Viking Stadium or whatnot, but everyone was playing for the name on their back. It seemed like only few people were playing for the name on the front.
Yeah, I got a feeling that it definitely is the case that you guys were playing at US Bank Stadium. Like I said before, I feel like all of that pressure would get to me and just realize that I'm playing there. But I mean, it seems like you really knew what you were doing, and a lot of those guys, like you said, just playing with the names on their back or playing for the names that they have. And I mean, that's too bad. But overall, rate your experience out of 10 being there.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Even though we lost, it was still a great experience.
You'll love to hear about it. And speaking of trips, if that's all you have from
that's all I have.
The trip that you got.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of trips, I myself am gonna be going on one next week. Ben and I, we're gonna be traveling down to Kansas City. We're taking a 7-8 hour road trip from La Crosse to Kansas City, and we're gonna be watching the Thursday night football game, Kansas City Denver Broncos. Probably not the optimal game to go to, just because the Broncos are the Broncos and the Chiefs are the Chiefs. But I'm super excited to go on this trip. This is going to be stadium number 2 out of 30 that we're going to. And I've heard a bunch of things. I've seen a bunch of TikTokers or whatever go to every single stadium within the entire NFL season. I'm like, hats off to you. I don't even know how that's possible. That's so much money to pay for it.
Well, they're also rich, so.
And hats off to them, for making their content, and their content is what leads them to making that money and being successful and doing what they get to do and what they want to do. But yeah, with Ben and I, we're kind of just doing one stadium every single year. Last year we did Cincinnati. I've mentioned that plenty of times here on the show. This year, it's Kansas City. So the defending Super Bowl champs, we get to watch them play. I mean, there's nothing better than that, especially when we get to watch possibly one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time get to play on the field. Granted, he might be a little overrated right now, but I mean, the fact that he's won 2 Super Bowls within the last 5 years definitely means something. So I mean, I'm just looking forward to what the city has to offer we've definitely talked to each other a lot about what's going to be going on and what we want to do. But the football game, that's going to be the biggest thing in this.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could do something like that, but I don't have the money for it. So.
Dude, I think whenever we go to Minnesota for a game, I have a feeling that we'll bring you along just because we're going to be wearing cheese heads. And, like,
Vikings jersey with cheese
heads. We're going to get so much crap for it. And even in Chicago, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm freaking scared to go into Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago fans are really bad.
And it's not just, like, the stadium itself, it's the city. Like, the crime rates in those cities are bad. And, like, on top of that, wearing a Packers cheesehead with the jersey of the other team, people are gonna be like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, they're gonna be thinking a lot of weird things. Like, I didn't say this too much, but last year in Cincinnati, Ben and I got so many mixed reactions from fans, like, of what the heck we were doing with cheeseheads on us when we got the Bengal stripes on our jerseys. And they're like, what are you guys doing here? Aren't you guys supposed to be up at your game in Minnesota for week 1? Or like, nah, we're doing this bucket list thing. And then, like, all of a sudden the fans just got so chill and cool about it. They're like, wow, that is, like, an awesome thing to hear about. And, like, that you picked our stadium first, that's even better. So I'm hoping that's, like, almost what every single one of these experiences is going to be like. But I honestly have no idea. The seats that we have they're pretty high up there, but I've heard that Arrowhead's a really good atmosphere type of stadium. So
it is.
I'm super excited about it. I'm hyped.
All right. I mean, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Well, so Ben and I were possibly going to buy tickets to go to Charlie Barron's show. And since he's from here in Wisconsin, he is doing a show at the same exact time that will be down in Kansas City at their theater. And we plan on wearing our cheese heads to this show. And we're hoping that he gives us, like, a shout out or some kind of kudos, because he's going to be like, yo, those two guys coming over from maybe the Badger State to watch me come up with some jokes. And I'm hoping that his jokes are really good. Like, I'm guessing you follow him too.
Yeah, I follow Charlie.
Media. He's a pretty funny guy. So I'm looking forward to this show. And I don't think I've ever been to, like, an official comedy show before. So, like, kudos to him for doing that stuff, because, like, I would suck. I would not be a stand-up comedian. Like, if you have a joke that misses and nobody laughs, it's, like, one of the most, like, awkward things ever. And, like, I feel like anyone can relate to that experience. Like, if you say a joke and nobody laughs in your friend group, it's not good. Top 10 awkward moments, probably. But I think that's pretty much all that I know we're going to be doing. We might be touring Kauffman Stadium, where the Kansas City Royals play. I think that's the name of their team.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know.
Kansas City Royals, yep.
And it's, like, right across from Ed. So it's, like, right there. I'm not sure if we'd be doing that. I know that they have, like, a Negro League Baseball Hall of Fame thing that we're going to look at. And I think Jackie Robinson originally played in Kansas City. So I think that's why it's there. And then I think there's, like, a bunch of other places. We're definitely going to get barbecue. Kansas City barbecue, like, is a must. So we'll be doing that. Other than that, I think we're just going to be touring around the entire city in my car.
That's nice. That's solid. Very. Obviously, then you get to fill in Missouri on your little map that you got. Put these back on.
I'm pretty hyped to do that. Like, the little dot that I have for the location is like Missouri and Kansas put together. Or like it's like right on the border because Kansas City is the border. Should be a good road trip. It'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Alright, you want to go into our next segment then? The biggest surprise through the first 4 weeks.
I mean, if you want to go first in this one, I just did a lot of talking.
Yeah, I can take it away from you. So the big surprise to me in the first 4 weeks of the season is actually going to be your team, the Cincinnati Bengals. 1-3. Obviously, this is not the start how everyone else imagined. Once we go into our picks, obviously we both picked the Bengals to pick the Titans, and they lost. Correct me, 27-3. Yeah, it was not a good showing. They're looking super dysfunctional. They don't have anything going for them. It's just not a good looking team right now. It looks like I think they have the number 5 pick in the draft. The draft started right now, so it is not looking good for the Bengals. I wouldn't push the panic button yet, but I would definitely starting to get worried about this team. Joe Burrow has been playing good. Obviously, Jamar Chase had a press conference that he's always open. I mean, we've both admitted that the Titans are not a very good team this year. So losing to them when Derrick Henry throws a touchdown on you is just another type of bad in my eyes. So I think the Bengals going 1-3 is the biggest shocker to me.
And that's a very fair one to say because, like, I was possibly going to say something about just the way that Joe Burrow's performed. Like, he has the worst QBR out of all the starting quarterbacks this year. Like, I feel like that's a really important thing to cover, but I think it's just because of that lingering calf injury that he has. Like, that he suffered right before the preseason games. Like, it wasn't looking good. And that calf injury, like, being a Packer fan, Aaron Rodgers, he has had that calf injury on multiple occasions, and I can tell that it threw off his game significantly. Being one of the top passers in NFL history, it doesn't matter. Like, when you're dealing with a lingering injury, but, like, you're not saying anything about it, it's got to be a frustrating thing to deal with as, like, the staff of the franchise, as well as teammates on the team. Like, they want what's best for Joe Burrow, but having the worst QBR overall in the season, like, that is something you just can't do, and there's got to be some kind of change that needs to be made. Like, we were talking earlier before the show about our fantasy football teams. I have Joe Burrow in one of my leagues. You have Joe Burrow in one of your leagues. And since they're playing the Cardinals this week, it's like, okay, maybe, like, this will be the time that he breaks out. But what if he doesn't? Like, does that mean you're going to switch to a different quarterback? Like, are you going to go with Simeon? Like, what's the deal?
No, you will not do
with that. Here's the thing: if you're not consistent, you got to make a change, right?
Yeah, but
like,
they're also
that's a given.
What they should do is put him on IR because they let him heal for 4 weeks.
Week 1,
huh?
I don't know why they didn't do that week 1 because he's clearly had this injury for so long. Like, you can see Joe Burrow being affected by this. Like, I saw a lot of plays against the Titans this week, like, just through, like, the highlights off of YouTube. And Joe Burrow was just sitting there in the pocket. He wasn't trying to scramble out. He was either sitting there or he just, like, took 1 or 2 steps back, and he never tried to break out of there. When last year you would see him do that, like, 95 times out of 100 and make the play and find Jamar Chase. And even Jamar Chase was complaining after this past week. He's like, I'm open. Like, just throw the ball to me. But Joe Burrow can't. Like, it's the injury talking, but I wanted to touch on that one. Was one of my biggest surprises, but I think my biggest surprise has to go to the rookie class of this season, especially in CJ Stroud and Puka Nacua. I think these two guys have really surprised the heck out of the entire league. CJ Stroud is top 5 in passing yards this year. I believe he's also top 5 in touchdowns thrown. I think he only has 2 interceptions thrown this year. He just came off of a 30-6 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best defenses that you would think of in the National Football League. So hats off to CJ Stroud, but Puka Nacua, this guy is putting up outstanding numbers here after the first month. I'm going to throw out some numbers for you here, Matt. So last week against the Colts, he had 9 receptions for 163 yards, and he had the game-winning touchdown in that game, which, I mean, that's just a remarkable thing. To have 5 receptions, 72 yards against the Bengals, 15 receptions against the San Francisco 49ers, best team overall, 147 yards in that game. Just insane. And then even in week 1, he popped off. I don't know why it's not showing me his week 1 stats. But overall, you can see where I'm coming from. Puka Nacua, rising star in the league, and for anybody who picked him up off waivers and on fantasy football, well, you're in for a pretty good ride for the rest of the year, because Matt Stafford is a way better fantasy quarterback than people think. Don't know why they're hating on him so much. So I would say a couple of stars from the rookie class are the biggest surprises after the first month. Just how many adjustments they've made ever since joining their teams and being able to do well. Like the Texans, I believe they're in second place in the South.
I think so. I think they're behind Jacksonville.
I think they're tied with them, actually.
But yeah, I think one name that you left out is Bijan Robinson. I mean,
oh my gosh, true.
How can you forget about him? I think he's going to lead the league in rushing this year. I mean,
I don't know. Christian McCaffrey seems like the guy to rely on. And another guy, too, Kyren Williams. Don't count this guy out either on the Rams. This Rams offense, actually, they could get scary. And we were saying that the 49ers were going to have an easy walk through the NFC West, but there's a couple of teams in that division who are kind of surprising us right now. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I got, but I think Christian McCaffrey is going to do a little bit better rushing-wise than Bijan.
Well, that's fair. I can respect that point. CMC is probably the best back right now in the league.
He's probably top MVP candidate at this point.
No, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Not right now. It ain't Patrick, I'm going to tell you that.
Well,
especially after
the
this
Jets
past week's game, where he should have had this many picks.
Yeah, that was such a bad game.
It was pretty disappointing. Do we want to talk about the officiating things?
Yes, as we can do that. Obviously Sauce was like, well, they let me play up during that whole time like that. Then then it happens, and they didn't throw the flag until it was super late after the guy had picked it off. And that probably would have won it for the Jets. It's like, no, it's Patrick Mahomes. They have to throw him the flag because it's the Chiefs. He's like the tomboy. He's like Tom Brady. He's a poster boy for the NFL now.
Well, for a script, you gotta have a star. You gotta have the superstar there. And that's the guy that the NFL is choosing now that Tom Brady is done playing. But it's like, dude, it's so frustrating to see this happen because we saw this happen in the Super Bowl. We saw this happen in the AFC Championship game. Like, it's so dumb. So in the AFC Championship game, the play I'm referring to is when he scrambled out of the pocket and got that late hit out of bounds. Like, yes, according to the rules, it was a late hit. But it's so dumb because Patrick Mahomes is turning into like this scrambling quarterback who can just run the ball whenever he wants. And then when he does like that tiptoe thing down the sideline, can you hit him? Because if he does the tiptoe thing down the sideline and you hit him, they might throw the flag. Yeah. So it's like these quarterbacks are getting like these free yards. That's the play I'm talking about. I thought that was completely unfair. I thought the Bengals were going to go to the Super Bowl. Might be a little bit of bias out of me, but like I feel like that's a valid point. Then in the Super Bowl, the holding penalty on the third down as Juju Smith-Schuster was going down the field for a pass. Yes, it was a hold, but like I feel like the officials were letting things go like that the entire game. It was such a fantastic game up until that point. Absolutely 100%. Killed the mood of the entire game. No one liked it except for Chiefs fans. And it was just unfortunate. And then this week, like, Sauce, it was a holding penalty, okay? It was a hold, but I don't think that it was a hold mattered. It was when the official threw the flag. He decides to throw the flag a second after the ball got intercepted. So, like, this is 5 seconds after the holding call that would have been made. That's when he throws the flag. It's like, okay, Mahomes just threw his third pick in the game. Psych. We're throwing the flag, so it's only 2. And then it just absolutely kills the momentum of the game so the Chiefs can do all their scrambling crap and whatever and win the game. But a play that was never called, though, was the holding on the offense when Patrick Mahomes
and that 3rd and 27.
Like yards. Like, make that call. That is such a blatant holding penalty. And I get it. There's a bunch of other times where refs miss calls and all that. But that one, a primetime football game that you're watching, like, T. Swift is in the house, Ryan Reynolds is in the house, Hugh Jackman's in the house, Blake Lively's in the house. Like, you gotta make the right calls in primetime games. Like, I feel like all of these mistakes and things could honestly lead to, like, refs should be able to get fined.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cheap.
I mean, yeah, and then you have people that are, like, slowing down. It's like, oh, my gosh, this is a hold. Well, first off, it's in real time, so they can't slow it down in slow motion.
No, and I don't want it to be like they show an instant replay of every single play. Like, I found it dumb that you could challenge pass interference back then. Like, and that was a few years ago.
Yeah. And then they took the rule away.
The pass interference penalty, like, is the most pointless thing to ever do. Either make the call or don't. And don't second guess your call 5 seconds later and then throw the flag. Be fair. NFL needs to be fair, but if we're going based on how the script goes, it seems like the stars are aligning for the Chiefs again.
Yeah. Well, that was a little segue into that. You want to do this? I gotta go somewhere in 45 minutes. I gotta work.
We can get this. We can get
all right.
this.
Yeah, introduce this because this one's a little weird for me.
This is an interesting segment that we're gonna introduce to you guys. So we're calling this like literal nickname matchups. So the whole premise of it is Okay, I'll just throw out an example. So, the New York Giants, if they were to play a team in their division, the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is literal, like, if you were in a fight, this is Giants, so like really big people, against birds, eagles specifically. So if it's a bald eagle, they can't really kill them because that'd be illegal and they'd go to jail. So like you got to think of a lot of different types of hypotheticals here. But do you kind of understand?
Like, yeah, I understand
the whole thing. Okay, so it's not a football game. This is like head-to-head matchups. Like, who would win? Okay? First, we're going to start off with our division that we're in, so the NFC North. So going over the 4 teams, who would get first, who would get second, who would get third, who would get last. So thinking about it, we have, so the Vikings, we got a bunch of guys who got like their swords,
axes, shields, boats.
Exactly. And then I think the Lions would be a pretty interesting one because like
they're just
lions, dude. Like those things could slaughter you, I think. Packers would take last.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we just get this out of the way? The Packers would take last.
They just put meat in packages and cheese in packages. Okay, so Packers get last. Third place. Okay, I would say the Bears and the Lions is interesting.
I would say the Vikings. The Vikings. So it's going to go Packers, Vikings, and it's up for debate between Lions and Bears.
You think the Vikings would take third?
Yeah, because they're humans. You don't think so?
You don't think their weapons could maybe kill like a bear or a lion?
Well, yeah, they can kill them, but like, okay, how are we talking about? Is this a single Viking versus a single lion, or is it like 50 versus 50?
No. So it's like the amount on a football team.
Okay, so 50
against each other. Yes. It's tough. Like,
I mean, yeah, the Vikings would kill some of the Lions and Bears, but I don't think it would be enough.
Okay, like, animals, I can see, like, with them being, like, tenacious and just absolutely slaughtering on people. So, yeah, we'll put the Vikings in third, even though I feel like it'd be close. For real. But Vikings would absolutely destroy Packers. It wouldn't even be fair. Packers have absolutely nothing with them except cardboard boxes.
I was going to say, you got meat. You got Brock's out there waving around with a cardboard shield.
Okay. So then Lions or Bears? Dude, I'd go Lions.
I'm going to go Lions as well, yeah. I think Lions would beat the Bears.
Okay. So next division we'll go over, we'll do the NFC East.
So Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. Can I say this? The Redskins or the Commanders?
It's Commanders.
Okay, well
they transformed from Indians into whatever a commander is.
Oh, they're a pig. That's what they are. Their mascot's a pig.
It is?
Yes. It's like something bacon something.
Okay, the Commanders lost. They take last.
The Eagles would take third.
Here's the thing. Is it a bald eagle?
I don't think so, no. For America's sake, it's not a bald eagle.
Because Cowboys cannot... People can't shoot bald eagles, okay?
For America's sake, they're not bald eagles.
Okay, they're not bald eagles. Okay. Then I agree the Eagles would take third. Giants and Cowboys, that should be an insane matchup.
How tall are these Giants?
They're Giants.
Okay, so the Giants would win. The Giants would win.
David and Goliath.
Exactly. A bullet will just be a little prick to them.
Well, I don't know, because, like, the Cowboys, they got their horses, and they have their guns.
What's that going to do against a 50-foot giant?
If you shoot them in the right spot, they fall over and die.
It would be like a mosquito prick to them.
Ah.
It's going to go Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders.
Okay, I agree with the bottom two. The top two, I feel like it's a 50-50.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near. The Giants would
How is
win.
it not a 50-50?
They literally have to step on 11 Cowboys and the whole field will be gone.
Yeah, but they're giants, so they can't move super fast. Like, the Cowboys, they're on horses. Like, I feel like the horses got the elusiveness to avoid the feet. Or even, like, the hands. Dude, I'm not thinking, like, a giant's, like, 50 feet either. I'm thinking, like, a giant is, like, I don't know. 50 feet's way too much.
Okay.
I was thinking, like, 10 to 15 feet.
Okay, yeah, then the Cowboys would win. I'm thinking like Jack and the Beanstalk type giant.
I don't even know what that giant looks like, dude.
It's big.
I know it goes fee, fi, fo, fum. That's literally it.
Oh, God.
Alright, next division. We'll do the NFC West.
Niners, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Alright, Cardinals and Seahawks are bottom half.
Yeah, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, 49ers.
Dude, the 49ers would have, like, their pickaxes.
It's three animals against one human.
With a pickaxe.
With a pickaxe.
Yeah, 49ers win that one, hands down. And then the South.
Buccaneers.
Dude. The Buccaneers are winning.
Buccaneers,
No
Saints, Falcons.
What's even a Saint?
What's the other team?
Panthers?
Panthers, yeah. Yeah, Buccaneers
You
are
can't
winning.
even...
Panthers are coming in
What's even a
second.
Saint?
Falcons are coming in last, and Saints, I think it might be... I don't think it's voodoo. But it might be just
What's
like...
a Saint? I'm looking it up.
What is a New Orleans Saint?
Oh wait, it's just a religious person with holiness.
Yeah.
They got the power of God, dude. That might change things up a little bit. Because
Okay.
it's like the...
Don't judge
It's
me.
like the Sprite cranberry against God debate.
Buccaneers are going to win. Then the Panthers are coming second. Then it's going to be the Saints. And then it's going to be the Falcons.
Nah, the Saints would beat the Panthers.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would. They got God on their side. That's a bunch.
God isn't going to help them when they're getting mauled.
Okay, it says a saint in religious belief. A saint is a person who is recognized as having an exceptional degree of holiness, likeness, or closeness to God. Well, why do you think the Saints would beat the Falcons then?
Because they're birds.
Yeah, these people are saints.
They just grab their, break their wings, and they can't fly anymore. That's simple.
Okay, to your logic, you're saying the Saints can't really do anything, though. So, to you think they should take last?
Okay, fine. Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Buccaneers.
I do agree with the Buccaneers being pretty close to the top because they got their cannonballs and their swords. The Jolly Roger. I still think the Saints could be second or first, though.
Well, they can't.
Just depends how much you believe. Just saying. All right, on to the AFC. So we got our division champs kind of set apart from another, but we're going to do the AFC North first because we started with the North.
Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. So Browns are a dog. Steelers is a steel pipe. Ravens are a bird. And the Bengals are a tiger. So the Bengals are going to win. Steelers are going to come in.
The Steelers?
Well, the Steelers are going to come in last. Then it's going to be the Browns and Ravens. I
know. What's a Steeler?
It's like someone that works in like a metal factory.
Steeler occupation. I do agree with the dogs and the bird being in the bottom half again. I can't find anything about what a Steeler is. Maybe it's just a steel curtain, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Therefore, it'd be last.
It's a big steel wall. You think the Bengals could break through the steel wall? What kind of look is that? I don't know what's going on with this guy.
Yeah, I bet you did that well.
It's a big steel wall, though. Like, steel is hard to break. I guess it depends how thick the wall is of steel. It depends how thick the wall is, Matt.
A Steeler is someone that works in a metal factory.
How do you know that? I literally looked up what a Steeler occupation is and nothing comes up.
Team history, because Pittsburgh was known for their steel industry. That's why they call them the Steelers.
Fine. If we're going based off that they're actual people, then the Bengals win.
Yes.
We'll say they're people. Okay.
Everyone in this video is a person or an animal. There.
Okay. No objects. Okay. Except for like if they have guns and stuff. AFC East. So you got the Patriots, the Dolphins,
the Jets,
and the Jets.
Oh
my gosh, the Jets, dude.
They're an actual jet.
I think the Jets.
The Jets would win.
Wait, or would it be the Patriots? The Patriots got like their colonial guns and stuff. Dude, they fought in the American Revolution.
I know. I sent you something. Please do not open it. Well, please do not read it out loud.
No. Why did I kind of see it coming when we said the Jets? Okay, so the Dolphins and the Bills are the bottom half. Dolphins have a really high IQ, though.
Yeah, but they can't survive on land.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything for them. So, the Jets.
Well, yeah, the Jets would win, but I think the Bills would come in second because you got to think about this.
What?
They're using flint knocks during the Revolution. So that means you got to pour in gunpowder, shove down the ball, put in more gunpowder, shove that down, prime it, light the thing, and pull it. If you have 50 buffaloes stampeding at you at 50 yards, you're gonna die.
They have guns, though.
I know guns. Jets, Patriots, Bills, Dolphins.
Unless you think this is like Mr. Larson from Happy Gilmore. Guns don't kill people, I do. But I don't know, dude. I think the guns could kill the Bills.
Yeah, they would.
Only because
I just want to make a point.
Have guns to shoot, but like I see where you're coming from. I still think the Patriots could beat the Bills, but it is close. And if they do miss their shots, then yes, they're done for. But I'm thinking these guys are top of the line gunsmen. So the Jets are winning, though. Because the guns won't be able to do enough damage to the Jets when they're flying. Unless they killed the pilot.
Okay, anyways.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know what you're
saying. That's a possibility.
But even if you killed the pilot, the plane's coming crashing down on you.
That's a bad way to go out. Okay, Jets win. Next division, the West. Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. Okay, one of them's just a horse. One of them is a person on a horse. Actually, two of them are horses, technically.
Yeah, two of them are horses. So does that mean the Raiders? Because the Raiders are like pirates.
The Raiders are winning.
The Raiders will win.
Are winning because the Chiefs are like Indians.
Yes.
So yeah, give me the Raiders for that one. Okay, one we could easily agree upon.
The AFC South.
Colts, Jaguars,
Texans.
Texans.
I think it's gonna be Titans.
What the frick is a Texan, dude?
A bowl. Have you not seen their logo? It's literally a bowl.
It sounds like a person from Texas, though.
Well, they can't name them the Texas Bowls.
I mean, you could. It just doesn't sound good.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Titans.
Titans would win.
Colts would absolutely get slaughtered.
That's a horse.
Again. Jaguars got speed. But...
they can't kill a Titan.
I think the Titan would win.
Yeah. I
think the Titans would take it. So... those are our literal nickname matchups for each division. All the winners that we have, they're moving on to next week's phase where we're going to do literal matchup playoffs. Should be an interesting one. So next up, we got our top 10s, and we're going to go through these pretty quick because Matt doesn't have too much time.
Alright. You know what? We'll just reveal all of them at once.
Alright. You can go ahead and do that.
Alright. I'm going to do mine.
I'm very interested to see this because a lot of dicey things happened after this week.
So at 1, we still got the 49ers. At 2, we got the Bills. At 3, we got the Chiefs. At 4, we got the Eagles. Oh, hold up. Nope, that's not what I want to do. At 5, we got the good old Cowboys. At 6, we got the Dolphins. At 7, we got the Lions. At 8,
the Jaguars, I already know it.
The Seahawks. At 9, Ravens. And at 10...
dude, where's your team?
The Buccaneers.
Where's your team, dude?
These teams
They
are just
won.
simply better than the Jaguars.
They won.
Yeah, and a lot of other teams won, and they're not on
Did
here.
you quit? Did you leave the bandwagon?
No, they're not. They're number 11.
Okay, the disrespect you just threw on Jacksonville after riding them for the last few weeks, I can't believe you. But it is a good thing that you don't have them that high on there. Okay, I'm just gonna break all of mine down all at once. And here we go. I got the 49ers at 1, the Bills at 2, the Eagles at 3, the Dolphins at 4, the Cowboys at 5, the Chiefs in 6th, the Lions at 7, the Ravens at 8, the Seahawks 9th, and the Buccaneers at 10. So something we can agree upon is our top 2 and our last one.
Yes.
But other than that,
Ravens and Seahawks can be flopped. I can see that.
Do we have the same teams?
Yeah, we do.
Dang.
So obviously,
Consistency.
I'm looking at yours. Dolphins got blown out by the Bills, and the Lions beat the Chiefs. And you have the Chiefs at 6 and the Lions at 7.
I'm saying right now how these teams would perform right now.
Okay.
I'm not going based upon like who beat who. Like I'm saying like right now, I think the 49ers could take all these teams. I think the Bills could take all these teams except for the 49ers. And then like so on so forth down the list.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I mean, we all have the same team, so it's not like we're disagreeing or anything. I think like they're all within like the same realm of each other, which is good.
I mean, I just find it pretty funny that you don't have the Jaguars on here anymore.
Boo-hoo.
Like, what happened to them over the last few weeks?
I said they were in 11.
But, like, they won.
Yes, hold on.
And the reason that I have the Chiefs at 6th is because the Jets almost beat them, and I think the Jets probably had a chance of beating them. And I just don't think they're worthy of being a top 5 team. Because if you match them up against the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to be all over. And Cowboys have like the best defense in the league right now. Granted, they have played a couple of not great teams, and they did lose to a not good team. But then, like, we just saw the Bills play super well against the Dolphins. So, like, we both really gave Bills the credit, but the 49ers are still that team.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But I do like both of these lists that we have. I think they're really consistent. That's the reason why I have the Chiefs at 6, though. But you have them at 3. You think they're better than the Eagles?
I still think they're better than the Eagles. Eagles went into overtime with the Commanders.
That's true. They did. But, like, those are divisional games. Divisional games are, like, never a walk in the park. Unless you're the Chicago Bears playing against your team. But pretty much any other divisional matchup, like, they turn out to be pretty close. So I don't have anything else to say about my top 10. I stand firm.
I stand firm with mine. I can respect yours. I think you can respect mine.
I respect yours. I just find it funny, like I said, that you don't have Jacksonville in there.
Like I said, they're 11th. The Buccaneers would beat them. I can be a fan, but still be a realist.
We just thinking about this. If you would have had Jacksonville in there and Tampa Bay in there too, all the Florida teams would have been in the top 10.
Yeah, they would have.
Which is crazy. Because typically one of those teams always sucks. So now that we're through our top 10s, we had to go through that one quick because Matt's got to go soon. We're going to do our game time predictions. Starting off, Thursday Night Football. The Chicago Bears go into
Washington.
I don't think it's really D.C. area, but like in that vicinity, take on the Commanders.
Do we need to say else more about this?
I don't think we do.
Commanders.
I was going to stop right there and let you pick.
I'm going to take the Commanders.
You want me to put them in?
Yeah, you can put them in.
I'm taking the Commanders as well. Do we want to go with scores this week?
We can go with scores this week. I'm going to take the Commanders 35-17.
I knew you were going to pick 35 for the Commanders. Something inside me just said you're going to do that. I think Brian Robinson's going to have a really big night tonight. Chicago's running defense just absolutely sucks. So I'm predicting him to rush over 140 yards. He's going to have a great night. I'm going to go with 31-14 Commanders. Next game is another London game. Sunday morning, Jacksonville Jaguars are up against the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to go with my AFC team, the Bills. I think they bounced back against the Dolphins, which the Dolphins were like, she's one of the best teams. I think they're going to win by 10, so I'm going to say 27-17.
I like your pick with the Bills here because, I mean, their only loss this season, I think, is against the Jets, week 1. And that was just like them looking bad. A lot of teams have those week 1s where they just play bad, but then all of a sudden they figure things out. And this is one of those teams that's figuring things out. I'm also taking the Bills in this one. I think they're going to score a lot of points again. Josh Allen's going to light it up in London, 35-24.
All right. We got Saints at the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Saints in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 23-20.
Last time I went with the Patriots, things did not fare out well for me because they got bombarded by the Dallas Cowboys. That was such a bad pick. I don't know what's going on with Mac Jones either. He's second to last in QBR. And I don't think the Saints have Derek Carr back yet. And Jameis Winston, he struggled against the Buccaneers. So did Taysom Hill. Like, the entire Saints team struggled these past couple of weeks. Ever since the fourth quarter against the Packers, it's just been downhill for the Saints. So the Patriots, yes, they came off of a pretty bad loss. But the Saints are going into New England. I'm going to take the Patriots. Belichick's going to come back from Mac and his mistakes and figure things out a little better. I think it's going to be low scoring, though. I think it's going to be 17-10.
Ooh, okay. Next, we got the Titans at the Colts. I'm going to take the home team with the Colts, even though the Titans just won over the Bengals. I don't think it's as impressive. Colts are looking really good. They get Jonathan Taylor back. He's officially off of IR, or PUP.
Welcome back, Jonathan Taylor. Represent. UW. Represent.
So I think the Colts are going to win this one. I'm going to go 28-17.
I like that pick, dude, because Richardson is playing. He's back. from his injury, and he's actually been playing highly well for the Colts, even after the Minshew mania again. But Jonathan Taylor coming back, that's going to be a huge piece. Michael Pittman, he's been playing well this year. The Colts, they came off of a tough game, but they played against a pretty talented offense in the Rams. So I'm going with the Colts too. I'm going to say 24-17. The next game that we have is Baltimore Ravens going into the Steel Curtain to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, the Ravens have been knocking everyone on their butts with the AFC North, and I think they're going to continue to do that. But take the Ravens. Steelers' offense hasn't done anything. It's so bad. Honestly, they lost to the Texans. I'm going to go with the Ravens. Give me 28-10.
Ooh, for a divisional matchup too. Pretty dominant. The Ravens, well, they did come off of a divisional matchup against the Browns, and they absolutely crushed them into pieces. So I think they only gave up 3 points in that game. And since the Steelers' offense is so stagnant right now, I can't see them doing anything, to be honest with you. I think the Steelers are going to score 3 points again. I'm going to say 28-3 Ravens. If it was the Falcons, that'd be a curse. Our next game that we have is the Carolina Panthers heading into Detroit to take on the Lions. I'll go first in this one for the pick. I feel like this one's pretty easy to go over. I think the Lions are really going to absolutely pound on the Panthers in this one. I'm really blanking myself on names. What's the first name of head coach Campbell?
Dan?
And Dan ended up coming up with a really good quote earlier this past week. He said something to the press about you guys shouldn't be watching out for us far away. We're gonna be right there, right on.
Oh, don't come hunting for us because we're gonna be right on your front porch.
Yeah, so I really like the things that he's put with his team and the culture that he's built. I'm gonna go with the Lions winning 30-7.
Wow. I'm also gonna go with the Lions. I'm going to go 33-14.
Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking on Dan Campbell's name. It's one of those days in the office, I guess. But speaking of the 28-3 curse on the Falcons, that's our next game we're covering. The Texans heading into Atlanta to take on the Falcons, who are kind of only led by their running back, the rookie Bijan Robinson. So this Texans team is playing really well. CJ Stroud is cooking. Such a great draft pick for the Houston Texans. I think the Texans are going to win this one. They're riding a pretty good hot streak of games right now.
I'm glad you said that because I was actually going to pick the Texans as well.
I'm going 24-14 Houston.
Ooh. Closer game. I'm going to go 24-20.
24-20. I like that score too. I'm just looking at how the Texans have played their last few games. They are 2-2 overall, but they've averaged a total of 33.5 points per game. So their offense is really cooking right now. 37 points against the Jaguars. when that was just a complete shocker to a bunch of people. And then they put 30 on the Steelers defense. Like, you don't see that often. So I think the Texans is the right pick for us here. Our next game we got, I don't know if there's too much explaining for this one. It's the Giants.
Dolphins.
Coming into Miami.
Pick the Dolphins.
I'm going to pick the Giants in this one. Just kidding. That would be such a dumb pick because the Giants look so bad. Like, I don't know if you saw any of the Monday night game at all, but like a bunch of fans had like garbage bags on their heads for how bad they are. Like, think about like the Cleveland Browns times when they went 0-16, the Lions when they went 0-16. Like, all the fans would wear garbage bags. This seems like a garbage bag year for the Giants. They might be getting Saquon Barkley back, but it's not going to be close. No. I'm going to say 35-7. That's being respectful.
I think the Giants will hit double digits. They're going to score 10 points when the Dolphins are going to hit 42 points.
42-10 also seems like a respectful score. Our next game, we got the struggling Bengals heading into Arizona. Oh, man. I don't know if I can ride the Bengals train anymore. I think I've picked them in every single game this year. And I've only gotten one. So, the Cardinals are a not great team. Neither are the Bengals because Joe Burrow. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Boy, the upset sounds like, oh, he's for sure going to take these teams. I'm going to pick the other one. Well, you have been not doing that because you have been taking the teams that I want to choose for an upset because I'm taking the Cardinals as well.
I'm taking Cardinals 24-21.
I'm going to take the Cardinals 28-24.
Okay, so we both have it being close.
I think this will be a close game, but it's just about it. Oh, someone texted me.
How much time do you got?
Oh, never mind. I got 9 minutes. We can just finish up these games, so we're good.
We got 5 more games to cover over. Eagles at Rams. This, I feel like, is going to be a really great game, to be honest with you. I can go first here on this one. Undefeated team no more. I'm taking the Rams.
Interesting.
I think it's gonna be a really good game. I'm gonna go with 31-28.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to alter you there. I think the Eagles will still stay undefeated, so I'm gonna pick the Eagles in this one. I do like how you're saying it is going to be a close game, so I'm actually going to say 27-20.
To me, I just think the Rams have the pieces. They kept it close against the 49ers, who are the team on top right now. So I think the Eagles are on upset alert in that game. I think that's a good one to watch on Sunday. Next game that we have is the New York Jets going into Denver against the Broncos. Oh my gosh, why are these matchups so tough to pick? I think, like, the Broncos, yes, they're coming off of a comeback win, but the Jets almost beat the defending Super Bowl champs.
I like the Jets in this one.
And Zach Wilson seemed to show a lot more humility.
He took responsibility.
The loss. Yes, that is what humility means. Yes. What score you got?
I still think it's going to be a close game, a low-scoring game, 20-17.
Good year. I'm going to take the Jets, too, in this one. I'm starting to develop confidence in this Jets team. This might be Hard Knocks bias coming from me, and also recent bias from last week. I didn't get to watch any of the Broncos and Bears, but like those are two garbage teams playing. I do want the Broncos to play well though, because I want the game that I'm going to next week to be a good game and not a snooze garbage fest. So I'm hoping it's close. I'm going to go Jets 21, Broncos 17. So just a 1 point difference from you. How about this one for you, Matt? The Chiefs are heading into U.S. Bank Stadium where you just played at. So Patrick Mahomes is going to play on your field.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Ouch.
I mean, I think it's going to be a gun show, but the Vikings aren't going to have enough. I'm going to say 35-32.
This has got to be like America's Game of the Week or something.
It is. It's a 3 o'clock game.
Yeah. I would assume, like, okay, the Vikings, yes, their only win is against the Panthers, but, like, all their games have been close. And, oh, man, Kirk Cousins, he's a top 5 quarterback.
Yes, he is.
I would say he's playing better than Patrick Mahomes right now. And I think he's just got better weapons. The Chiefs, yes, they have a defense, but I don't think it's good enough to contain. I'm taking the Vikings, Matt. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. Might be a crazy pick, but I feel like Kirk Cousins is going to play out of his freaking mind. This seems like one of those games where he would do that. I'm going to go 35-28. Matt's like cheering inside right now, like, oh my gosh, he just took the Vikings. I'm so proud of him. Our next game that we have is the Sunday night football game. Cowboys heading into San Francisco, and this is going to be a good matchup. 49ers, Cowboys. Who you got?
49ers. I mean, just a better overall team. I'm going to take 27-17.
I think that this game is going to be determined by what defense plays better. As the great Vince Lombardi says, defense wins championships. So I think the 49ers have a better defense, but like it is so close that I just don't know. I think it's going to be low scoring though. I'm going to go with the 49ers to win as well. I'm going to take them 20-17. On to our last matchup here on episode 8, Monday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers are heading into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Take it away, Matt.
You know, this is a toss-up for me. But I think that the Raiders are going to win. They got the better receivers. They got the better running back. They got the better quarterback. So I'm going to go Raiders.
Just a quick side note, Jimmy Garoppolo may not be playing.
Never mind. Anyways, I'm still going to take the Raiders, and this one, it's going to be a close game, 2017.
What was the score that you had?
20-17.
2017. And a quick disclaimer from us here, like, when we make these predictions to the games, we don't change them back. Even though we sometimes get news about a bunch of injuries happening, which could alter our decisions, but this is based off of our current time and moment. So, like, every Thursday, right before the Thursday night football game, we don't change anything back. But, dude, you're crazy to pick the Raiders, in my opinion. Like, they suck. They haven't done anything good this year. And the fact that they're missing Jimmy Garoppolo, not good. Devontae Adams doesn't even want to be there. Like, I think there's a lot of problems going on there. Packers, yeah, they're coming off of a bad game against the Lions, but I think that this will be a wake-up performance for this team. They're going to have guys who are completely healthy like Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. Like, they will actually get full reps this time. I don't think this will be close. I think the Packers are going to take it pretty easy to the Raiders and win 28-13.
Well, there, buddy.
Those are our predictions, and we got just about a minute before you got to leave, so we can do a quick sign-off here. I'll start with you on the home.
Well, here on the home sideline from Lakeland University, it's your boy, Matty Icy. Coming back from Minnesota, not as a champion, but that's...
Still got a ring, though.
I do have
got that ring.
Excuse me, I do have a ring.
He's rapping today. Here on the away sideline, here in Stevens Point, is your boy, Brendan Retzloff, a.k.a. Brett's.golf, 99 Brett's, Brendini. Signing off here on the Dots Podcast, episode 8 of season 2. We thank all of you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. You can check us out on all of our socials, on TikTok, on Instagram, and check our stuff out on YouTube. And we're hoping that we can get our episodes onto a bunch of podcasting platforms. So that's going to do it for us. I will throw the football. Signing off.
See you guys.